Okay, this recording is a preview of one of the things we're going to do in class this coming Monday, July 13th. So once we are done looking at the basic functionality and tools and menus and stuff in Photoshop, we are going to work on a plan view image for our final presentation. So I have here my double click. I have here my image that I exported from SketchUp, and I did export it with a transparent background. You can see that here. So let's do this. Let's see. I want this to be slightly larger. So let's get a little bit more space, top and bottom, because I want to put text out here in the margins, and I'm going to need a little bit more space. So let's right-click on this gray bar. So right-click and say Canvas Size. Now, keep your origin, your point of origin, keep that in the middle, and let's add an inch at the top and an inch at the bottom. So our height is going to be 11 inches, and now, there you go, now it's bigger. Okay, so I don't want these little gray pieces here. That is something from the safe frame. This is from my camera, and I forgot to turn those off. So let's say we'll go here to the marquee tool, and we're going to get a rectangular marquee. So we're going to just select this area. You know it's selected because of the little dashed lines, and hit the delete key on your, never mind, we have to do one thing first before we can do that. This is our background layer, so we can't erase on it. We need to copy it. So over here in your layers, we're going to drag and copy. All right, now what I can do is this bottom version, the first one, let's make that be white. Okay, so let's go here, and we're going to drag up to white and say, okay, now my foreground color is white. So I am going to flood fill, and that keyboard shortcut is Alt Backspace. Okay, now it's white. Now I can really see these gray lines. So let's go back up here, make this one active. This layer here is active. Now I'm still in my marquee tool, so I can select and hit delete on my keyboard and get rid of those safe frame thingies. Okay, now to get rid of this selection box, I say Control D to deselect. Okay, now nothing is selected. Okay, so I have one layer, which is my background, and I probably should name these. Let's name these. So this is going to be, let's just say SketchUp. Okay, and this one we're going to be background. Whatever, background. All right. Now, the next thing we want to do is put on some text. So we are going to label these rooms. So we can do that. We're going to click on the T for text button over here. All right. Now, if I start drawing, or if I start making text right now, look up here. My text is going to come in white. I don't want white text on white background, because then I can't see it. So one more thing. Let's have this layer being active. Whenever you make a new layer, it comes in right above whatever layer is currently active. So if this one were active, my text would come in underneath my picture. I don't want that. I want it on top of my picture. So now I want to change my text color, and it's going to be black. Okay. And Arial 18. Okay, that's fine. So let's just click. All right. So now this shows you a preview of what your text is going to look like. So if we start typing just sweet, all right, cool, and then we go to the move tool. Now I'm going to place my cursor in the middle, right here. I'm not going to grab. See how the cursor changes when you position it over these little boxes at the corners? I don't want that. I just want to move the whole thing. Okay, and I'm going to put that right there. Now, we're going to continue doing some more. Oops, let's make sure this is selected. And this is going to be Master Suite. All right, now, if I move this, I can line it up with Guest Suite because I get these little purple lines that help me line stuff up. I can also use the arrow keys on my keyboard to kind of nudge it back and forth if I want. And if this box is getting in the way and I'm really having a hard time seeing, which I am, the keyboard shortcut for hide is Control H, and then all that goes away. But this is still selected, so I can, scooch it back and forth. Now, this is tricky because I have a selection. So that means I can't do anything else until I get rid of that, until I deselect. But I can't see it because it's hidden. So this is tricky. When you use the hide tool, you got to really remember to unhide your stuff, or you can kind of get in trouble. Okay. So next, let's see, what else do we need to do? Let's see. I think that's about it. We're not really. We're just going to put in a bunch of text to indicate things. We can, if we want. Let's say down here, we're going to have pergola. So we're going to say, we'll type in pergola. And if we want to, let's move this. If I want to have a line indicating the pergola, I can do that. I can go to where is my pencil tool? Right here. Right. Now this might not be visible. This might be showing the brush tool. Sometimes that one will be there. But pencil is underneath the brush tool. So if you hit this little arrow and hold, so I'm pressing on my left mouse button, now I can select my pencil tool. And my foreground color is black, so that's good. My size is 6. That's kind of big. I don't think I want it that big. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit so on my keyboard, I can hit my left bracket. Each time I hit my left bracket key, it goes down a size. If I hit my right bracket, it goes up a size. Okay, so this is the quick way. So I'm going to come down here, and now this pergola here, which is active, is a text layer. That is a special kind of layer. I can't draw on that layer. That's why I get this little circle with the line thing. So what I need to do, let's make a new layer. So say, go to the plus, make a new layer, and we're going to call this one leader lines, or leaders, whatever. So on this is now, see how there's no T? See this T indication here means that you can't draw on it. It's just text. Now we have a regular, plain old, regular, normal layer type. So I can draw on it. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key so I make a straight line, and I'm going to click and drag, and we're going to say pergola. Yay, there's a line. Now, this layer can be turned on and off independently of these other ones, and it can be moved independently. So, if I move my text, let's say I move my text over here, well, that means I have to go back to my other layer and move my line. Okay, so these are not linked. Okay. Let's see. One other thing I want to show you guys. If you're gonna end up with a lot of these text layers, you can make a group. So whenever you make a new layer or make a group or anything, it's going to come in on top of whatever is currently active. So let's make this the active layer. All right, and then we're going to say this one right here looks like a folder. Okay, create a new group. So click once, and we have group 1. Now let's double click, and we're going to say labels. Okay, perfect. Now we have this folder, but it's empty. So what we're going to do is we're going to left click, drag and drop. So just like that. See how it turns blue? So whoop, there it goes. And see now they're kind of indented. Okay, see how they're set over to the right. That means they're inside this label. So if I hit this down arrow, I can close my folder, my group. Okay, I can also let's make this one active and deselect. Okay, so I can also turn off everything. Oops. Oh, I forgot to put Guest Suite in there. Oh, let's do that real quick. All right, there we go. Now, let's unselect. All right, so there. Now I can turn off all my text with one single click. Or I can hit my down arrow. Now I can see everything that's in that group. All right, so this is really handy for staying organized if you have a really complicated Photoshop file. So that's it for now, and we will do a bunch more in class on Monday.